מוריי ורבותיי, שלום וברכה, בעזרת השם נלמד את צדיק רבי חיים פינטו, נלמד עוד צדיקים, מהקדוש ברוך הוא bless the entire קהילה, נתר קהל, וברכה והצלחה, נצילת דשמיא הגדולה, מלכה דעלמא וכתב וכתב, בת השם הקדוש ברוך הוא, hear all our prayers, may this week be a week of complete redemption, amen, king of בת השם. You know, but in this week's parasha, we read one of the most significant parashot with regards to the reparation of the world, the reparation of Adam, and so too the fight that every single man must do in order to live a better life within this world. And it is the idea of Yaakov and Esav coming to the world. You know, but many of the Mefarshim ask, of what is this concept of having two twins, having two individuals that come out from the same body at the same time, that represent two completely opposite worlds. We hear Yaakov Avinu alav shalom, Ishtam Yoshev Va'alim. He is a holy man that sits within the tents of Torah, dwells within the tents of Torah. A man that represents spirituality at the highest level. And then attached side by side to that, we see there is Esav in the same body, growing from the same entity. Now this is something that was even present, even before birth. Being that we know that Rivka went to Shem Va'ever and she was panicking. She said, I don't understand. Every time I walk by a place of impurity, I feel a kick. And every time I walk by a place of Kedusha, of purity, I feel a kick. So at the time, she truly felt that there was an entity within her that wanted to use both of these aspects. And it frightened her, it scared her. Until they explained to her, Shnei goyim bebitnech v'shtei le'omim mimech mitzu. No. There are two individuals. One represents Kedusha, and one represents impurity. So the question is really, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu need to create this whole story in this manner, where two siblings would grow in such opposite entities? And why was Rivka so panicking of this child of hers wanted to mix within both? We all do a little bit good and a little bit bad. What was so bad about this? So we know about the Zohar Kadosh says that man, as we know it today, is very different from what man was supposed to be at the time of the creation of the world. We know that we were all created in the image of God. But a lot of parts of us doesn't seem very godly. A lot of our doings, they seem that they come from a place of a very physical creation. So what is really this concept of man's evolution within the time of the world? So Zohar Kadosh actually says something incredible. And this can give us a little bit of a sign of how the man of today is very, very different than what Hashem had in mind when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Adam. And that is what? Zohar Kadosh says that the snake, the reason behind all his wrongdoings was actually a very, very, very dirty thought. And that was what? And that was what the Zohar Kadosh said, that the snake fell in love with Chava. Where it said that he was arum, he was not dressed. This idea of not dressed is something that represents evil, impurity. It's like a child. He has no shame of being undressed because he has no sin within him. He has no concept of desiring to do something physically. So being undressed for him is natural. From that point, everybody was not dressed because there was no evil within Adam. The snake was the first animal that held that evil. That's why it even says that he was undressed. All the animals were not dressed. But he had evil, so the fact that he wasn't dressed, it was present. Zohar Kadosh said that the snake actually attacked Chava. And that was actually one of his ways of pursuing, pushing Chava to pursue the Etz Hadat, to pursue the tree of knowledge. It was actually some sort of relation that they had. Zohar Kadosh says that Cain and Hevel, the two sons of Adam and Chava, were actually not fully Adam. They were not fully man. They were actually a mixture of half of the snake and half of Adam, where Hevel was mostly Adam with a little bit snake. Cain was mostly snake with a little bit Adam. And this is physically. Because like we mentioned, the snake attacked Chava. And that's really the reasoning and the answer behind Cain's vicious actions of killing his brother. He wasn't even man, he was mostly snake. He had a little bit of man within him. From here we see this concept of generations after generation of sin. The sin that occurred within them wasn't the fight of Adam. It was the snake within them. And here finally HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to create a nation. a nation that will be pure, a nation that will be clean, a nation that will be more like Adam and less, God forbid, like the snake. HaKadosh Baruch Hu needed to separate between Adam and the snake. He needed to separate between the seed of Adam and the snake that was mixed within mankind. How did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do so? Zohar HaKadosh says, with Yaakov and Esav. Where Yaakov and Esav was the splitting of that entity. It was the splitting of the man and the snake. Where Esav took all the aspect of the snake. And that's why Arizal calls him Nachash. Arizal refers to him as a snake. Arizal even says that he had the neshama of the snake. Hashem Yerachem. And Yaakov, the Gemara says, Duknya da Adam. Yaakov, he looked identical to Adam. Looks mamash one-to-one like Adam. That's even an explanation where it says that when Yosef HaTzadik, when he was about to sin, an image of Yaakov was seen, his father. And then other places says, no, it was the image of Adam. He saw Adam or he saw Yaakov? No, he saw both because they looked identical. They had the exact same features, the exact same face, the exact same, everything about them was one-to-one, a mirror. Being that Yaakov was the fully formed man since Adam, and the only fully formed man since Adam. And that is really, Rabotai, where Bnei Israel can start to be built. Bnei Israel Jews. We are built from a different entity. We are built from the splitting of the snake of Adam on a physical level. But that, Rabotai, does not change the fact that within our nature, within our teva, within our fight, we always have the challenge of who will overcome who. Will the snake lead within man, or will Adam lead within man? And that is really, Rabotai, the secret behind our own tikkun and behind our own day-to-day life to reach to success. We have to understand, Rabotai, that every single day in our life, we must take upon ourselves this challenge of winning Yetzirah, acting like the Adam, acting like a man, and that's in all aspects. That's with Shalom Bayit, that's with our Parnasah, with the way we do business with one another, that's with our morals, how we treat one another, that's with our own morale, how we carry ourselves out. We must fight to be Adam, to be man, and not give in to our snake instinct that was embedded within our conscience. If we will do so, we can truly come to a place of living life full of bracha, full of atzlacha, full of yishuot, and we will be, B'et Hashem, victorious in the fight between man and snake. Amen. Amen.